So there was now this drive that we needed to have a nomination first and foremost amongst parties that were supporting President Kibaki, in order to see if we could come up with one candidate through a nomination, be it KANU or PNU or Ford Kenya for that matter, and many of the other parties. So that is the exercise that was currently underway during that particular period, to nominate the candidates who were going to be presented before the Electoral Commission for the main general election for civic and parliamentary seats. So it was quite a difficult time, yes.
I referred the court to a diary, you may remember, yesterday that recorded 25 MPs lost their seats, and referred to the process continuing from the 17th of November into the 18th of November. What particular problems were faced by you as KANU chairman, and indeed your party, in resolving these nominations?
Your Honours, what was happening was that after we held the nomination process, there were many candidates who felt that the nomination process was not conducted in a proper manner, and hence they were not willing to accept the results of the nomination process. So there was a lot of discussion at the time going on, trying to get various candidates to accept the outcomes of the nomination process, because we were now running out of time, because the Electoral Commission had given deadlines as to when the names of the respective candidates had to be submitted who were going to participate now in the general election. And there were a lot of disputes in very many parts of the country between candidates who had gone through the nomination process but were not willing to accept the results of that nomination process. So as party leader in KANU, and not just myself, all the other party leaders, there was a lot of intense discussion and a lot of dialogue going on, trying to see if we could get candidates to accept, or how we could get compromises so that we could meet the Electoral Commission deadline.
And where did these discussions take place?
Well, the discussions were taking place in various places, because we had, like I said, we had our own candidates. So there was the KANU team that was meeting at our own headquarters. There was teams that were also meeting up at the PNU headquarters. But ultimately, we all had to sort of generally abandon those particular places, because there was a lot of commotion, as many candidates and their supporters were coming to these various headquarters demanding that they be given their respective certificates. And we ultimately had to retreat to a place where we could try and sort out this problem that was occurring between various parties through this council that I said had been formed.
So given your position, were you involved in discussions in the KANU offices as well as the PNU offices?
Yes, I was involved, because we were just moving from place to place trying to get agreement. But like I said, when commotion arose, we retreated to another building that had been set aside in Kileleshwa, where we continued with those discussions basically through the night.
And which of the parties, KANU or the PNU, were at Kileleshwa?
Like I said, there were many parties that were involved, because we had NAC Kenya that was participating in those elections. We had the PNU itself. We had KANU. we had Ford Kenya. I can't remember all the parties because there was a whole myriad of them, but there were very many parties that, like I said, had formed this loose coalition supporting Kibaki, but were not necessarily eager to surrender their positions with regard to parliamentary and civic seats.
Just taking the PNU, did that have to relocate to a secret location? And if so, could you tell us where?
It was I think it was a building in Kileleshwa, Your Honours. There was a place where we had, where materials and stuff were being kept. But for that particular period, we chose it as a location for us to be able to meet, because it was not a well-known location, so we could keep away the huge crush of candidates who were looking for certificates. So we had to move and find a place where we could sort of meet and discuss in an atmosphere of relative calm.
A man called Witness 4 for the prosecution, whose name you know, but do not mention it. You know that name. Have you ever met that person?
Your Honours, I have never met that person referred to as Witness 4.
On the night of the 17th of November, at about 9 o'clock in the evening, did you go to the Yahya Centre in Nairobi and, as he alleges, meet him and some members of the Mungiki, along with your personal assistant, and speak to them for a period of time, slightly over an hour? Did that event happen?
Your Honour, that event never happened.
Have you been to the Yahya Centre with your assistant? We named two candidates for that position because of the name disclosed by Witness 4, and I think you're aware of the common surname. With either of those gentlemen, have you met such people in the Yahya Centre, or have you been to the Yahya Centre with either of those gentlemen?
Your Honour, the Yahya Centre is really not a meeting place. I've never been with either my assistant or anybody else who I work with to Yahya Centre. But I have been to Yahya Centre with my wife and my family. That's where she does her shopping, and I don't think that's a place I'm going to go and take my political colleagues.
We all know who you are. If you went to a bar in the Yahya Centre with a group of Mungiki, would that excite interest amongst the people around that location?
Your Honours, I don't know whether it would excite interest or not, but it would definitely attract attention, without a doubt.
Thank you. The next date I'm going to go to, because I don't know what the judges will make of evidence, but Witness 4 mentioned another date, the 25th of November 2007, which he may have withdrawn, where a meeting between you and he with your personal assistant took place at the Yahya Centre, in the evening of the 25th of November 2007. Did such a meeting take place?
Your Honours, I didn't quite hear that. Is it another meeting?
Yeah.
I didn't quite hear that question.
Witness 4 made an earlier statement when he alleged that a meeting had taken place on the 25th of November between you, him with a group of Mungiki, as well as your assistant.
Your Honours, I have never held a meeting with Mungiki or anybody at the Yaya Center. I want to repeat again that I have been to the Yaya Center, but I have been in my capacity as with my wife and my children, like many other families who go to the Yaya Center, but I have never been there for any meeting with any person.
The 25th of November is a date we know in this court because that was the date where there was a big youth rally in Uhuru Park, Nairobi. And eventually President Kibaki came and spoke to the assembled youth. Did you go to that rally as well?
Your Honours, yes, I did attend that rally at Uhuru Park.
And at that rally, did you address the rally and the people assembled?
Yes, Your Honours, I was one of the speakers at that rally.
After that rally took place, can you recollect where you went?
After the rally at Uhuru Park?
Yes.
After the rally at Uhuru Park ended quite late because I think it was ending between 6:30, 7 o'clock. And it had been a long day for me since I had already been in the morning for another rally in Bomet in the Rift Valley. And that had required a very early departure in the morning in order to attend the Bomet rally and come back and attend the Uhuru Park rally. So after the Uhuru Park rally, I left for home.
Thank you. Let's now turn to the next date, the 26th of November 2007, the day after the Uhuru Park rally. And we saw yesterday a video clip showing the KICC Centre and you going up the steps into the KICC and later delegates going to the Intercontinental for a lunch, as put in a newspaper photograph. On the 26th of November, that day, did you go to State House in Nairobi